We got this DelMar Sport in here, and we put a new roof on it. We had some, when the coach come in, this corner mold that's right here that runs down, this is a piece of phylon that runs on the side here where it comes together. There was kind of a gap between, there was caulking on there. It was really wide. It was kind of suspicious. Then there's also a trim piece that goes on the bottom. They had some screws in there that didn't look right either. And I'll show you what I mean on this other side over here. So this is the opposite side. You can see this is the corner mold right here. They had a big wad of caulking and it came out really wide. So that was a red flag. And then actually 3-inch screws that they put in there, which again is a red flag. That's saying that these screws aren't long enough. These are only 1 1/4 inch. That's all you really need. But the other screws were 3-inch. And they were just regular construction screws. So when we took them out and realized how long they were, we realized there was some other issues. So we took the corner mold off. Once we took the corner mold off, we could see all the damage that we have right here. Kind of give you a close-up. Now we repaired way at the top. There was some way up there. We repaired some of the damage up underneath that top piece of diamond plate that you see up there. We already fixed that. So then we wanted to investigate this down here, and when we did, this is what we opened up. So I took the door off on this to see what was going on, and then you can see in the inside is rotted as well, which leads to, these are where the big 3-inch screws were going into, all this rot, because there's nothing there. So they just made it, put a bigger screw in there to try to hold it, but it goes back a little bit. Now some of it's just wet and not necessarily rotted. So what we're going to do is get a blower on there. We know we've got some damage up underneath there as well. We're going to put a blower on this, and we're going to see exactly how much it was just wet, and obviously we'll spray it with mold kill, and then we'll show you how we come along with this little project here and try to stitch it back together. Alright, so we took some of this apart, we got it dried out. We just took this, there's a piece of just thin sheathing that went over this here, so we took that off. And if you look, there's no screws or fasteners for this. They should be fastened right in here. None of them are fastened in there. The rest of this looks obviously looks okay, nice fresh wood. There was a rotted piece in here. We had already cut that out right here, and we're probably going to end up stitching another one in here because that end's rotted. And then that bottom side is rotted here, and then up underneath there. So we're going to get all this out. And then there's still some more in here, like we showed you. Some wet insulation in here. Probably, see if I can get any water droplets coming out of there. It's soaked. You can see how tight it's staying together. So I'll get rid of all that. Change out the insulation. Okay, so what we're trying to do now, we've already spray molded everything. So what we're going to do now is we have to get some insulation in there. Then we got to re-adhere this piece here. We're going to have to re-adhere that. When we do that, we won't have another video showing all that phase. So we rebuilt everything here. It's just stained. All this down here, it's just stained. There's nothing wrong with it. It's still good wood. So then we added these other couple of ribs right here. See one there, and then that one there. We added 2 more in there. They didn't have them in, but we added them in. Replaced all this, replaced the flooring underneath, and then we put some steel in here to stitch everything back together. Another piece up there. So we've got it all put back together. So the next segment, we're just going to see it all completed back, which will look like it was, because it's still old Phylon, and that's where we're at, though. Okay, so what we did is this is a piece of rigid board. We fully adhered that into all the framing and into the interior wall, because in order to actually get this done, we would have had to try to, this piece here is laminated to this piece. So in order to get that, we would have had to cut this piece. So instead of doing that, we glued everything together. It gets all glued together anyways. So we just loaded it up with adhesive. I mean, it is just absolutely loaded up with some really good, strong adhesive. This is structural grade. So we're going to press it all in. And once we get all that together, this son of a gun will hold tight.